Okay, ratios. They've given you a question here. It says Michael's got a summer job as a bricklayer's assistant. He's responsible for mixing concrete. Okay, so his goal is to make concrete here. He needs to make 80 kilos of it. And he has to mix cement, sand, and gravel in a ratio of 1 bag of cement. So this represents a bag. Okay, so we have 1 bag of cement with 3 bags of sand. I did not say bags. And 4 bags of gravel, right? And altogether, that's going to make concrete. And we need to figure out what this ratio is altogether. The very first question says, how many parts in total are in the mixture? So how can we figure out how many parts in total are there?
Count each bag.
Yeah, exactly. So really, let's think of concrete as being a mixture of all these bags together, right? We know our final answer, which is going to equal, is going to consist of all of these things. So we have 1 bag plus 3 bags plus 4 bags. So what is that going to be a total
8
of?
bags.
Yeah, we have a mixture of 8. There's going to be 8 things in total here. Okay, so we can already start to set this up as a ratio. Okay, so we'll say cement here. We have a 1. We have 3 bags of sand, 4 bags of gravel, which essentially turns into a ratio of 8 total bags. Okay, so we can set this almost as like a 4-way ratio here. And 8's a great number because we know we're going to be working with 80 kilos of this, right?
Yep.
So this is going to make the question a lot easier for us. So we'll call that part A. Part B asks us, write the ratio of cement to sand. So we'll say C to S, sand to gravel, S to G, and PCD, cement to gravel. Okay, so since we've already labeled these, this is our cement, this is our sand, this is our gravel, and this is our concrete. Okay, concrete is a value of 8. What will these ratios end up being using this value here? So what will cement to sand be?
1 to 3.
Yeah, exactly. We have 1 bag of sand to 3 bags of cement, so we have a 1 to 3 ratio. What about sand to gravel?
3 to 4.
Exactly. We have 3 bags of sand, 4 bags of gravel, and cement to gravel.
1 to 4.
1 to 4. Exactly. Excellent. So all that is relating how these can be split up into we have a ratio of 4 things together, or we can work with them as pairs, or we can work with them as sets of 3, right? Ratios, we can kind of move in any way we really want. All the parts must total 80 kilos, write a proportion that compares 80 kilos of concrete to the mass of sand. Okay, so we're going to use multiplication to help us out in this question. Okay, so I'm going to take this ratio that we've written in blue here. So our ratio, if we put it a little closer to each other, is 1 to 3 to 4 to 8 in parts. Okay, and let's just say this, if we really wanted this, we could call these a kilo. So we could say 1 kilo of sand with 3 kilos of, whoops, sorry, I wrote those backwards. 1 kilo of cement with 3 kilos of sand with 4 kilos of gravel is going to equal 8 kilos of concrete. Okay, but remember they told us that we work with 80 kilos of concrete. Okay, so what operation can we use to go from our ratio of 8 to 80?
Multiplication.
Yeah, and what would we multiply by?
10.
10, exactly. So you multiply by a value of 10. So because this is one whole ratio here, we're going to multiply every value in this ratio by that amount. And that should give us our answers for the rest of the ratio, right? So we put in our values here. So if we're multiplying everything by 10, we'll do this in red. What is 1 by 10 going to be?
10.
So how many kilos of concrete do we need?
We have 10 kilos.
Yeah, sorry, not of concrete, of cement. 10 kilos, like you said. So we need 10 kilos. How many kilos of sand will we need?
3 kilos.
30. And how many kilos? Yeah. And how many kilos of gravel will we need?
40.
40. And what we'll do is we're going to double check this to make sure this is right. Okay? Because we know we're equaling our 80 here, right? So let's take these values. Well, 10 plus 30 plus 40 what will that equal? 80. Perfect. So we know that ratio worked there. So when we set up ratios, realize that even when they give it to us in a basic form here, here's our basic ratio, we can multiply or divide. Okay, I could have made this an even smaller ratio. It would have been tough to work with if I wanted to go like maybe, or actually, you know what, let's go about and do that, a tough one here. Let's say some guy comes by and says he'll give us $1 million for a 4 kilo bag. Okay, so he's talking about concrete, so he wants 4 kilos of concrete. Well, how can I go from the original number 8 to 4?
5 by 2.
That's right. We can take these values and divide by 2. So this is going to be a little tougher now. Okay, so in order to fix this for this guy, how many kilos of cement will I need?
5.
If I do 5, okay, let's write that on the side. Now remember, we're dividing from the original. We're not dividing from this one here.
So 0.5.
Aha, exactly. So what we're taking is the value of 1. So we're taking 1 and we're dividing it by 2. And that's giving us 0.5. So we need a half a kilo, or 0.5 of a kilo of cement. Okay. Sand, we got to take that value of 3 and divide it by 2. Do you happen to know what that'll be?
1.5.
That'll be 1.5. And what will 4 divided by 2 be?
2.
2. Excellent. So let's double check to make sure that adds up. Okay, let's do our 0.5 plus 1.5 plus 2. How do I represent 2 as a decimal?
0.0.
So let's add them up to see if they're going to equal our 4 kilo bag. Well, 0.5 and 0.5 will give us, 10. So, or 1 in this case, 1 plus 1 plus 2 is 4. Perfect. It made our 4 kilo bag. So whether we're multiplying up our ratio, so making it a larger value, or making it a smaller value when we divide, we can multiply or divide our original ratios by essentially anything we want. Okay? As long as we've set up the proper ratio to start.